The drama continues down in Nassau, Bahamas, as locals clash with Royal Caribbean over their plans to develop a brand new beach club on one of the island's most well-known strips of real estate. And following the man overboard disappearance of 35-year-old Ronnie Peel from the Carnival Magic last weekend, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, has just indicated their interest in getting involved in the investigation of the mysterious disappearance. I'll give you all the latest details on this developing story that could be pointing towards foul play. And Norwegian Cruise Line has just announced plans to make anyone sailing out of Port Canaveral violently ill. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. It's the end of another week. I hope you're looking forward to the weekend. Let's get the cruise news rolling because it's positively overflowing with stories that you definitely want to hear about. We're going to get started by looking back to last weekend when 35-year-old Ronnie Peel, a resident of Virginia, he went overboard mysteriously from the Carnival Magic. This was supposedly Ronnie's first cruise ever, and now new details are emerging that implicate an FBI investigation has commenced, and all sorts of strange things are going on surrounding this tragedy. Let's begin just a couple hours after the Magic arrived back in Norfolk, Virginia. Following the cruise, the woman traveling along with Ronnie, I'm only going to identify her by her first name, Jenny Lynn, who claims she was the man's lover, started a now deleted GoFundMe asking for $20,000 to help with funeral expenses for Ronnie. And this is where I start to ask questions, because Jenny Lynn called herself his lover, but in actuality, she was supposedly his fiancée. See, when I hear the word lover, I think mistress, I think someone is stepping out, or maybe they're just hanging out with someone, but they're not together, so to speak. So that's a strange term to use, but I guess different people, different terms. I suppose we can chalk it up to that. But it kind of makes me raise an eyebrow. For some reason, my internal alarm starts going off because of that. And there's yet another thing here making my internal alarm bells ring. It's the GoFundMe. It was started before the Coast Guard even ended their search for Ronnie. Now, we don't know the intricate details here, so I'm not assuming them. We don't know the internal discussions between Ronnie's family or loved ones and the Coast Guard that went on behind the scenes. So maybe they learned that it was being called off before it was actually publicly announced. That could simply be the reason. We just don't know, so we can't really point a finger, meaning there's not necessarily anything untoward going on here. I want to make that abundantly clear. It's just a little strange, and it's only made stranger by the fact that the FBI just announced that they are going to be taking over fully for this investigation for the disappearance of Ronnie Peel. And the FBI does indeed have the jurisdiction in this case. They do investigate suspicious deaths on cruise ships, including homicides that happen to U.S. citizens. Now, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone here. I want to be very clear about that. As a matter of fact, I would also raise the fact that Carnival didn't report Mr. Peel missing until 14 hours after he fell overboard is another massive problem that raises massive eyebrows on my end. Make sure you get subscribed to the channel if you don't want to miss any breaking news updates coming out from this very strange situation. As of now, the search has formally been called off for Ronnie Peel. Moving on to a subject that garnered the most views ever on my channel, we're talking about Royal Caribbean's plans to develop a brand new beach club project right beside the cruise port in Nassau, Bahamas. There's been movement in this project, and in a previous episode, I reported that a big drama, a big fight, had broken out between Atlantis, the local Nassau government, and Royal Caribbean. And that fight is still ongoing, but it does seem like this project has some traction and is going to move forward with a green light. If all goes as currently planned, the beach club should take about 2 years to be completed and open up, with Royal Caribbean anticipating welcoming guests sometime in 2025. But one of the biggest concerns here is the current condition of the island peninsula that Royal Caribbean wants to develop on. All told, just to clean up this area, they could end up spending $50 million just to tear down old houses, get rid of invasive species, and get it all cleaned up and ready to go. And there's going to be some big stipulations for Royal Caribbean. There's actually some historical buildings on the site, 2 of which will have to be preserved and potentially repurposed as part of this development. In addition to these concerns over historical buildings, there's also tons of environmental concerns. People claim that the beach club is going to devastate the western side of Paradise Island. Obviously, these people have never been to Perfect Day at Coco Cay. They would see that Royal Caribbean does do a very good job with their private islands. They plant a lot of trees. They have the same plans over in Nassau. Additionally, these new trees would probably provide some additional protections against bad weather for the harbor there in the port of Nassau, as well as offering a bunch of new shade for travelers and vegetation and habitat for local wildlife. Let's take the cruise news over to Port Canaveral. We're talking Norwegian Cruise Line. Following the cancellation of most winter cruises in Europe for Norwegian Epic, it's now being reported that the cruise line will deploy the ugliest ship in their fleet to Port Canaveral for this upcoming winter season, offering everyone else cruising out of Port Canaveral the opportunity to be violently ill when you stare at the Norwegian Epic across the port from you. It's said that the Epic will offer a variety of Eastern and Western Caribbean sailings, although no details have currently been announced. And obviously, this is all due to the higher demand for cruising out of Florida than it is over in Europe. It's just what happens when there's not enough bookings on a cruise ship. The cruise line will ultimately pull the plug on one itinerary and pull the ship to another market where they know they can sell out. And that's exactly what's being done here on the ugliest ship in Norwegian's fleet. If you made it this far into today's episode, and you can still see after seeing the picture of Norwegian Epic, please make sure you get subscribed to the channel with the bell notification turned on. Leave a thumbs up if you wish you could be on a cruise right now. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for stopping by the channel. And until tomorrow, we'll see ya on the Midships. Whew, hang on, I need a little sip. These are really good. I just picked these up. The Simply Lemonade. Come on, focus. There we go. Simply Lemonade Spiked Seltzer. It's pretty good. Try it out if you see it. I just started packing for my group cruise. It leaves in 7 days now, 8 days. It's coming up really quickly. Leave a comment on this video of the cruise line that you would like to see the next group cruise sail on. We've done Carnival twice. It might be time to think of a different line: a Royal, a Celebrity, an MSC, a Princess, Holland, Norwegian. Let me know what you think would be the best cruise line for the next Midships group cruise and what time of year it should sail. Have a great weekend.